He is on the phone from Japan. 118. Bodie, you've just come back from the doctor or the physio, mate. What's the update?
Yeah, it's not too serious, and probably as predicted, it's a grade 2 MCL knee, so that's 4 to 6 weeks typically. It's something I've done in the past in 2015 on my right side. So yeah, I just got twisted in a tackle. I ran between Michael Leach and Shannon Frizzell, so it's not that ideal.
No,
but it's rugby.
Yes. And when you did it, did you think, oh God, this is bad?
Well, it was. I just received a high ball and kind of went into contact, and I went inside on, and one went high, one went low, and I got twisted, and I heard and felt a pop. So that initially, gets you wondering a bit. And I got strapped up and tried to run, and it felt wobbly, so I went off the field. But like I said, it's happened before, and the scans removed a lot of doubt. So we've got a good plan to return in no time.
Okay, so 4 to 6 weeks. So that means obviously you're going to finish the season over there?
Yes, and in fact, I only miss hopefully just one competition game. That's if I return in 5 weeks. So because of these cross-border matches coming up, we've kind of got a break in the next 2 weeks. So in terms of timing, it's pretty good.
How have you been playing?
How have I?
Yeah, how well?
Well, I feel like I've been playing pretty well. I've been feeling good physically, and we're kind of a team with potential. We haven't quite clicked just yet, but now I've got Steve Hansen back. He's giving us a lot of reassurance and certainty that we needed, and the competition's strong over here. So we've had couple of very, very close games, and there's realistically 6 teams that could win the competition over here. So it's been enjoyable, but challenging as well, and very good rugby.
Mate, it's like the old band getting back there saying, what's the old mate like, mate? Is he still the same?
He actually came over for dinner last night, which was great. Hannah cooked up a storm for him, and plenty of stories came out. But he's still a very brilliant coach. He knows exactly what to say and when, and his influence is so positive. So he's probably doesn't have the hard edge like I guess it was the pressure of the All Blacks coaching role. He's a little bit more easygoing, but he's still the great man and great coach.
He just seems to be so popular amongst all you blokes, doesn't he? And this, we only look from the outside in, but I know that you have a lot of affection for him and a lot of respect for him as well, and that's ongoing. We saw that in France during the World Cup last year as well. When he appears, the players tend to flock with him. So that's obviously been a great relationship.
It has been, and we know how much he gave to the All Blacks and how he enhanced the legacy and got the team to where it was, and the culture. It's been a shame the way he's been mistreated in recent times. But we know him as a man and as a coach, and he's one of the greats. There's no doubt about that. So I'm lucky that I can rub shoulders with him still over here. And in fact, he lives just next door, so I see him all the time.
Look, and his loyalty's never been called into question, mate. I mean, the guy bleeds black. You just got to sit down and talk to him.
Totally. Yep, and he really wants to help. He still wants to help New Zealand rugby, and he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he cares tremendously about the team. So he's still got a lot to give, that's for sure.
Beauden Barrett is with us. A little injury update there, 4 to 6 weeks away. How is it playing up there? This is not obviously your first time and everything, and you mentioned before that the standard is good. Has the standard improved? Have you really noticed that?
I think so, definitely. What you find now is the squads are big and they are filled up with so many foreign players. Obviously, the Japanese have their own test team, and they are very respectable in their own right. But what you also have is so many South Africans, Tongans, Fijians, Australians, Kiwis, the occasional Englishman, so many different players. They're bringing all sorts of experiences to different clubs, and it's pretty cool, the mix that you have. But the quality is, it's really good. It's fast rugby, but some people are a bit naive and kind of write it off and don't give it the respect it deserves, I think, in New Zealand.
Well, I always ask this question: where do you place it? Is it somewhere between NPC and Super Rugby? So that would mean it would be above NPC level.
I think there's probably 4 teams that would easily compete in the Super Rugby competition.
Wow.
Up here.
Wow.
Yep, easily, and you'll see in the crossover matches. Depending on what squads are picked, what matchday 23s are picked, if the likes of Suntory and Panasonic pick their top teams, the New Zealand teams will certainly need to be picking a decent squad to compete.
Yeah, at the same time, though, obviously with Super Rugby coming up, I mean, I don't know how much our guys are going to hedge their bets, and we know for a start the Chiefs have actually left a few players behind injuries and stuff like that. I mean, it's going to be fascinating, but it's always sort of, I suppose, written off as pre-season, isn't it? And in terms of, what it means to the New Zealand sides.
Yes, and what I know about the Japs are they're super proud and they won't want to roll over. The selection around whether they take this opportunity to make a statement or whether they take it as an opportunity to rest their top players for the current competition. It's going to be interesting, but it will be very good rugby to watch. It'll be a fast game. It'll be the first hit out for a lot of New Zealand boys, and there's nothing like rugby fitness, so they'll get a bit of a shock with the speed. There's no doubt about that.
Beauden Barrett is with us on the platform. So just in terms of crowds that you're getting, have they improved over the years, and in terms of the media coverage and attention you get up there?
Yeah, the media certainly has improved. Last week, for example, it was a media conference done online, but there were several, maybe a dozen media outlets on the other side, and it's big over here. They're really passionate about their rugby. The university rugby is huge, and the crowds, I think at our Cannon game, there's anywhere between 10,000 and 30,000 at a game.
What's it like playing against the New Zealand guys? You said running into Shannon and that. I mean, it's not the first time that you've done it. You oppose Richie Mwanga's on the other side and that. Do you chat beforehand? Do you chat during the game? How's it go?
Yeah, if you bump into them before the game, you chat, and it is a little bit more relaxed and easygoing, and probably refreshing to see your old mates. So you do take the moment to just catch up and have a chat before you go to battle, or certainly at least after the match, catch up and ask how things are, how the family is, and it's pretty strange to just take the moment and think, what are we doing here in Japan? The journey we've been on, but it's cool to also appreciate it.
After the World Cup, how did that all finish after the final? Did you all go your separate ways straight away?
After the World Cup, so we had 2 nights in France, and then we flew home to New Zealand. We all flew home as a team, and Aaron Smith and I and Peter Steph du Toit, who was also in the final, obviously.
I remember him. He only tackled just 28 bloody times or something, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. We arrived at the Toyota Club on the 28th of November, so there's about a month where we went home, unpacked, repacked, and got on with it.
I don't know whether you saw Geordie's comments a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that he's still not over it. It still bites him. And, you've been through, the experience of winning a World Cup. You know what that's like. You've been through the disappointment, obviously, of a semi and a final and that. Do you ever really get over it? I mean, how does it linger for you as a player, as a past world champion?
No, you don't. The thing that gets me is just how close it was and what could have been, and what if we just did this then, and all those little scenarios. You can take them as learnings, use them as fuel, but it just is. It is there, and it does bug you, and it probably will for a long, long time. The great thing is you're always looking forward to the next game, and don't even think about what's gone in the World Cup, but it just does resurface every now and then.
Yeah, because one thing that
because
always...
it was such a huge thing.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that always fascinates me when I read the answers to other athletes being asked this question is that, a lot of people say, when you're young and you're not, I was going to say young and dumb, but you're not young and dumb. But when you're young and you're full of that kind of vim and vigour and you're in your early 20s, you probably think, hey, we're going to make another one. We'll easily make another. Well, if we didn't win this, we'll make another one. And then kind of your career goes on. And for a lot of players, that's it. They only made that one final. So, really fortunate to make two of them.
Yeah, and it's the older you get, the more influence you have. Like, so much more goes into it from an overall leadership, contribution, care, to be honest. Like, a lot more goes into it, and therefore a lot more reward would be and satisfaction would be had from success. But and we of course wanted to, what could have been for a send-off for Fozzie and the management, like all those little things. At the end of the day, we're super proud with where we took our team to, and we fell just short, but it doesn't stop it from bugging you from time to time.
Yeah, I think about it myself and think about the disappointment, but then I look back at the feeling after that Ireland game, which was just extraordinary, and at the end of it, just as a fan, how proud I was with the effort and the tenacity down to 14 in that final. Like, that's what I want from the All Blacks every time we play. Do you understand what I'm getting at? I just want to see that.
Yes. Yeah, we were all locked in, embraced that opportunity. We knew it was just going to have to be an absolute fight. Playing with 14, and we almost did it.
Almost.
Geordie was pushing on the side of the scrums, and
yeah, God, that's right. I forgot about that. He wasn't bad either, mate. He wasn't bad.
Yeah, and part of me is like, well, I could only imagine having a crack at a goal kick in the 78th minute with, after making so many runs and so many tackles and also pushing in a scrum. Like, I know I'm sticking up for my brother, but geez,
no, man,
my legs wouldn't be working if that was the case.
I understand it. I mean, look, I remember at the press conference, I think it was before Argentina, asking you about that, about the players, and a lot of sports describe it as a band of brothers, but how special for you that it actually is your brothers. And wherever you go in the world in your life and your families from now on, and you meet at Christmas or wherever you meet, I mean, just those experiences. I mean, you can't put a price on that, can you? No,
and to be fair, they're probably one of the biggest reasons I've decided to stay on, and what keeps me going in New Zealand. And yeah, it's pretty special, to be honest. Like, we don't play together for Super Rugby, but we play together for our province. Hopefully one day for Coastal. But the black jersey is super special.
In terms of that, so you've re-signed, so obviously that's your target. You're fully amped to come back and play for the All Blacks.
Yeah, the focus is this season. Obviously, I'm feeling good physically, apart from the little ding. But we've got a good plan to get back in 5 weeks. And I'm optimistic. I'm training and playing as best as I can, and in contact with Scotty Hansen just around some. And DMAC, just around some game stuff, sharing thoughts and so on, growing together and understanding each other and all that sort of thing. So it's an exciting year. There's potentially a lot of rugby to be played. And for me right now, it's just about getting my body right, because I know if my body's right, I'm driven to be there, and I just need to focus on playing well.
You're 14 or 15 test matches, and I can't see that we're going to play the same team in every one of those. So, there's obviously opportunities there. I love the fact that Damien's put his hand up and said, I want that number 10 jersey. And I think that's what he had to do. But also you want that jersey too. Let's make that clear. That's going to be the position you're aiming for. Do you want to play 15 or do you want to play 10?
To be honest, this time every year I say I want to play 10, and that's what the coaches also agree on. And you get to the time when it comes to selection, and somehow I slip back to 15, and I accept that. I want to be playing for the All Blacks. I want to be playing first 5'8", and if it means I'm playing first 5'8" or 15, coming off the bench, starting, I just want to be contributing to the All Blacks. And of course I want to be starting, but we've seen in test matches that the last 20 minutes are the most critical part, and some teams like South Africa pride themselves on finishing games. I'm not saying I want to come off the bench, but I know how influential a full squad is, the importance of a 23, and having experience there as well is critical.
Beauden, it's so good to hear it. I can hear it in your voice, mate. You're absolutely determined, and you still have the love and the desire there, eh? After all of this time, all of this rugby, all of these tournaments and that, playing for the All Blacks again, mate.
Yep, that's right. It could have been easy to just pull stumps and go overseas for good. Yes, I've had a little bit of, and that's probably one of the great things about the sabbatical option for me, and taking just one season to go away. And it's when you go away you really appreciate how good it is in New Zealand. What the All Blacks does for you as a person, and for your family. But appreciate the rugby in New Zealand and the people that are in the game, and I'm pretty keen to play with my brothers, so that's why I'm choosing to stay on for another 4 years and give it a good crack anyway.
What is the possibility of the All Blacks being named at some stage this year, and there's a TJ Perenara at 9 and a B Barrett at 10, mate? Old school. I'm talking old school.
Well, I'd never, ever write TJ Perenara off. That's for sure. He's one determined man, and they don't come any more competitive. So if it's Tej and I there, that would be fantastic, and like the good old days.
Mm-hmm. Hurricanes days, mate.
Yep, Hurricanes days. But that would be super cool. I know how driven he is to get back there, and we understand each other inside out.
Can hear the little one in the background, mate. So life's all good. Kids are good.
Yeah, very good actually. I've got the 3-year-old Billy's at school here. She loves it. And little Coco's walking now, so she's all go.
Oh, look, it's so good to catch up.
Good.
So good. I'm sorry, to hear about the knee and obviously and everything like that, but, hearing you so confident about the rehab and that you got the plan in place. So as long as it's not, as serious as a really big busted one or anything like that, it sounds as though, everything's kind of hopefully coming together and will be at the right time.
Yep, we've got a good plan, and the medical team here is fantastic, so be back in no time.
Awesome talking to you, dude. Thank you so much for all the time.
Cheers, Marty. Good to chat, mate. Thank you.
Devlin. You better believe it. The platform.